Hey guys, so today we are doing day 2 of transformations, and I thought we would start with a first example of just substituting in an x value to get a y value. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just read the question, right? If g of x, so it's in function notation, is equal to negative 4x squared, you should know what type of function this is right now. Okay. So think about it, say it out loud. All right. It's quadratic. All right. Minus 3x plus 2. Determine g of negative 2. So remember, the entire thing, that's like your y value. So if I was going to make a table here, right, instead of saying y, I'm going to put g of x. Okay, and when they're asking me to find g of negative 2, they're asking me to find the y value when x is 2. Or sorry, when x is negative 2. All right, so I do that just by substituting. So just like I have g of x here, when that becomes a g of negative 2, then I replace every single x with negative 2. All right. I chose this problem specifically because there's a negative. You have got to put your numbers in a parentheses when you're substituting. Okay. Otherwise, you might get the wrong answer. So we have g of negative 2. Oops. All right. Equals negative 4. And again, I'm coming up on an x. So I'm not just going to put times negative 2. I'm going to make sure it gets its own parentheses. Okay? Squared minus 3x plus 2. Okay. So here I have g of negative 2. You guys can put this in your calculator. I'm just going to do a little mental math. So negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4 times negative 4 is negative 16 plus 6. So it's negative 10 plus 8 is negative 8. Okay, so I'm not really focused so much on the math here. You guys can put this part of it into a calculator to get negative 8. But the result when you put negative 2 in for x and substituting is to get negative 8. Okay, and again, it is so, so important. Oops, I forgot to actually write it in. I was talking so much. Okay, so you should have had a negative 2 in there. It is so, so important to put this in parentheses. Otherwise, you might just end up with the wrong number. It happens so often. All right. So that is all I wanted to say about that. Now we're going on to the next problem. Okay, and as I erase this, just kind of give it a look. All right, and we're starting with the graph that is right here that I'm erasing over. All right, so it's saying the graph below is the function f of x. All right, so awesome. Now the question as I move over here is which of these 4 graphs represents f of x plus 2? All right, this is where you need to look at your notes from yesterday if you forget. So I don't care if it is part of the equation or if it's just part of the function notation, but if this plus 2 is inside of the parentheses with the x, that means that you are moving it either left or right. Okay, and if you're not sure, just do a simple parent function and put parentheses x plus 2, see which way it moves. All right, so why am I getting all these pop-ups? Okay, so plus 2, it's the opposite of what you would think. This actually would move to the left 2 spaces. Okay, so I start here and I'm moving everything to the left 1, 2. So this, a new point would go here. If I pick this point right here, I go over 1, 2, put a new point, Here, 1, 2, I put a new point here. So if I was making a new quadratic based off of this transformation, right, that they are telling me to move 2 to the left, I would get a new function like this. And if you look, this option 2 is the function that looks like it's been moved 2 to the left. All right. A lot of these are just practice and you can graph them, which is always really nice. All right, so let me go to the next one so you can see it. And we're not wasting time. All right, so they give you two functions and they say, all right, here's f of x. And actually, let me just graph f of x real quick. All right. So I know that this is a quadratic because I'm seeing to the second power. That should be an indication quadratic. And I know that if this was the parent function, it is moving 2 to the left, 2 to the right. It's a negative. It's the opposite of what you would think. 2 to the right. Okay. And then here, plus 4. Oh, thank goodness. It's exactly what I would think. This is 4 up. Okay. All right. So I move 1, 2 to the right, and then 4 up. So I'm moving that U shape, 2 to the right, 4 up. All right. So it would look something like that. All right, so now let me use this green color because we are still in Spirit Week. Oh, let me label the other one. Okay, so this is f of x. Okay, so now the next function, g of x, that is moving 5 units again to the right. So when it's minus 5, it's moving the opposite way you would think. And if you're not sure, just graph it in Desmos. Put this exact equation in Desmos and see where it moves. Okay, so this is going 5 right, so it would be going to the right 5 spaces, and it would be going up the same 4, right? Plus 4, it would still be going up 4. So that would look something like this, right? And this would be g of x. All right. Some people can answer this without graphing it. I like to graph it. I like to see it. All right. So now what's the question? The question is, when compared to the graph of f of x, the graph of g of x, okay, so this one is shifted 3 units. Okay, so when compared to f of x, g of x is shifted this amount, right? So let me see. I go from 2, so 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 3 units, and it shifted 3 units to the right. Okay, I'm just going to put an R here for right and an L here for left. If you're ever not sure your left to your right, you can put your hands up like this, and whichever hand, when you're looking at it, makes an L, that's the left-hand side. Okay, and for me, it's this one, but I think I think it might look different for you because you're looking the opposite way that I am. Okay, so that is it for today. Good luck with your Desmos. Good luck with your zombie activity. You should be pacing yourself and working through that today and definitely tomorrow. And that is all I have for you today. So I'll see you next week. Bye.